Welcome to Talking Shit, Beyond the Comfort Zone with KING-KAMBUF, where we dive deep into the heart of the black diaspora's most pressing issues and explore the paths to our collective liberation and prosperity. This isn't just a podcast, it's a movement dedicated to nation building that serves the collective issues of the diaspora. Welcome to Talking Shit, Beyond the Comfort Zone with KING-KAMBUF. This is our first episode, and I'm going live here on Facebook, and then we're also recording to edit and put up on YouTube later. So live version is just going to be off the cuff, and the recorded version that we put on episode will be hopefully what we call production value. Anyways, today's episode, Chasing Shadows, the Illusion of Money, and the Quest for True Sovereignty. As I said earlier, welcome to Talking Shit Beyond the Comfort Zone with KING-KAMBUF, where we dive deep into the unspoken truths that shape the world of the black diaspora. Today's episode, Chasing Shadows, the Illusion of Money, and the Quest for True Sovereignty, confronts an uncomfortable reality, a metaphor that as crude as it is enlightening. Imagine, if you will, the act of creating life, a process so intimate and personal, only to substitute the essence of that creation with someone else's nut, to be exact. Ejaculations. This metaphor isn't about the physical act itself, but about something we deal with daily. Our finances. Money, in this analogy, represents our most personal efforts, our dreams, and sovereignty. Yet, paradoxically, we often find ourselves using someone else's money, chasing after wealth that doesn't truly belong to us, wealth that doesn't represent our forefathers and foremothers, our collective unity, or our domestic products. In this pursuit, we become entangled in the very systems that once enslaved us. We're led to believe that building within this system, contributing to a kingdom not our own, is the path to success. But let's pause and reflect. Is it truly success if it doesn't build our sovereignty, our nations? We're not here to demonize money, but to question its relevance and control over our lives. When every dollar bill we crave bears the face of those who enslaved our ancestors, it's time to ask, did God invent money? Or did he invent unity? Today we delve into these complex issues, including a startling look at the recent employment report from April 5th, 2024, where yet again the black community finds itself disproportionately affected. We'll discuss the ongoing battle against DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusions, in white corporate America, and the standards set by a society that often seems unwilling to let us participate, let alone succeed. Through it all, we advocate not for integration into a flawed system, but for the creation of our own systems and standards, our own successes. Just like at a dessert table, with an array of cakes, each delicious on its own, we argue for the beauty of diversity and the power of standing alone yet together. So let's embark on this journey. Not just to critique, but to find pathways to true sovereignty beyond the shadows of illusions of money. Beyond the shadows of the illusions of money. Welcome to episode 1, titled Chasing Shadows, the Illusion of Money and the Quest for True Sovereignty. Let me give you an outline of what we're going to discuss today. In segment 1, we'll talk about money metaphor. We'll dive into the metaphor of using someone else's nut, that's right, ejaculation, as it applies to money. And how chasing after money has led us away from building our own sovereignties. In segment 2, we'll talk about the relevance of money and explore the concept of money versus unity. Question the role of money in achieving self-determination and collective determination. In segment 3, we'll talk about the employment report. We'll analyze and examine the latest employment report and its implications for the Black community. We'll discuss systematic issues reflected in these statistics. In segment 4, we'll dive into DEI, diversity, inclusion, equity, and inclusion in corporate America. We'll dive into the resistance, the lies against DEI, the false narratives. We'll highlight the importance of the participation and the creation of our own standards and spaces. In segment 5, we'll talk about these standards and participation. Discuss how our standards exclude and limit, or I should say how their standards excludes and limits the Black community. We'll emphasize the need for creating our own platforms, industries, economies, rather than seeking acceptance in established ones. In segment 6, we'll dive into diversity and unity. We'll use the cake metaphor to discuss diversity, unity, and the dangers of forced integration. Advocate for the value of standing alone yet together. Each contributing uniquely to a collective whole. In conclusion, I'll wrap up and I'll recap the key points that we discuss. We'll encourage listeners to reflect on the role of money. I'll encourage you, the listeners, to reflect on the role of money in your lives and the importance of building a future that truly represents empowers the Black diaspora. And then, of course, a call to action. Invite listeners to engage in community discussions and initiatives. Encourage you to share your thoughts on social media and become an active participant in the quest for our national sovereignty, KING-KAMBUF, the nation, to provoke thought, to inspire action, to unite discussions about our sovereignty, our financial independence, and the power of unity within the Black diaspora. And then I'll give you guys a little tease on what the next episode will entail and what we plan to talk about. So let's dive deep. So let's dive deep.
Out the shadows, imagine if you had a nut, meaning ejaculation, and instead of using your own, you use someone else's crude. Yes, well, it's kind of like fucking all day to make a baby, even then you eat them and then put someone else's nut inside you.
Segment 1. The money metaphor. Welcome to the journey beyond the comfort zone. You're tuned in to Talking Shit Beyond the Comfort Zone, and I am your host, KING-KAMBUF. Today we're unraveling a truth that might hit closer to home than we like to admit. We're diving into the essence of value, creation, and sovereignty through a metaphor that's as bold as our mission is here. Now let's get real for a moment. Imagine the act of creation, of bringing life into this world, an act as intimate as it gets. But there's a twist in this tale. What if at the final moments of creation, when you're about to explode, the very essence, your very essence, the very seed of that creation wasn't yours? Crude, yes, huh? You pulled out to let someone else come in. All that pumping, all that work, just to pull out and let someone else come in. Crude, yes, but stick with me. This isn't about the biological act itself, but about something that dictates much of our lives, our finances, the moolah, the money. And this allegory is akin to the essence of creation. It represents our labor, our dreams, our sovereignty, our very sovereignty. Yet how often do we find ourselves using someone else's money, chasing after wealth that's been defined and controlled by systems not designed for us? This chase, this relentless pursuit of wealth has a way of leading us astray. The path of true sovereignty. We're living in a world where the allure of money has been meticulously crafted to captivate us, to keep us entrapped in a cycle that benefits those who already yield the power. It's as if we're building their empires. Ain't no ifs. It's as if we're building their empires brick by brick with our sweat, our dreams, all while neglecting the foundation of our kingdom, our kingdom. Think about it. From the moment we step into this world, we're taught to chase after these pieces of paper, these digital numbers, as if they hold the key to our fulfillment, our freedoms. But whose freedoms are we truly building? Whose dreams are we bringing to life? When we look at the faces on these bills, the symbols of wealth we so desperately seek, we're reminded of the painful truth. These are not the faces of our forefathers, of our foremothers, the architects of our resilience, our strength. No, these are the faces of those who once enslaved us, who continue to hold the reins of economic power. But here's where we reclaim our narrative. This isn't about shunning money or denying its role in our lives. It's about understanding its true value and its limitations. It's about recognizing that true sovereignty, true empowerment, doesn't come from the accumulation of wealth within a system designed to keep us on the margins. It comes from building our own systems, our own communities, where wealth is measured not by the accumulation of money, but by the strength of our unity, the depth of our cultural roots, and the breadth of our collective dreams. So as we venture through today's episode, let's challenge ourselves to think beyond the conventional definitions of wealth and success. Let's envision a future where our sovereignty isn't defined by the money accumulated, but by the communities we've built, the lives we've uplifted, and the legacy we leave for generations to come. Stay with us as we dive deeper into this conversation, unraveling the layers and uncovering the paths towards true sovereignty, beyond the illusions that have long held us captive. Up next, we'll explore the relevance of money in our quest for self-determination and collective empowerment. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to Talking Shit Beyond the Comfort Zone with KING-KAMBUF.
Even then you eat them and then putting someone else's nut inside your lady. Yes, your wife. This is the money. You're taking your money. Yet you use someone else's money. Meaning money you did not create. Money that has no face that looks like you. Money got you fooled. Money got you abandoned.
Segment 2. The relevance of money. Welcome back. Talking Shit Beyond the Comfort Zone. I'm your host, KING-KAMBUF. And we're peeling back the layers on a topic that's as complex as it is crucial. Money, its power, and its place in our journey towards sovereignty. Now let us dive into this head on. Money versus unity. On one side, we've got this tool, this medium, this exchange that becomes a central pillar in our global society. It buys food, it pays for shelter, secures education, and let's be honest, it can open doors that seems to be locked to those without it. But then there's unity, the collective force that bonds, that ties communities together. The shared strength that fuels every significant movement towards justice and equality. So here's the question. In our pursuit for self-determination, of building a future where the Black diaspora not only survives but thrives, what role does money play? Is it the key to our liberation? Or is it a chain that binds us to a system inherently designed to keep us in check? Let's look at the realities we're facing. Across the globe, communities are being torn apart, not by a lack of unity, but by economic systems that prioritizes wealth accumulation for the few over the well-being of the many. In these systems, money speaks louder than the collective voices of our people. But should it? When we allow financial success to dictate the worth of a person, a community, or a movement, we risk losing sight of the values that truly define us, our cultural heritage, our shared struggles, and our dreams for the future. And yet we cannot deny the role of economic empowerment that economic empowerment plays in achieving our self-determination, the ability to control our resources, to invest in our communities, to create opportunities for our youth. These are all essential components of sovereignty. Then challenge. Then is it not to reject money? The challenge is not to reject money as a tool, but to redefine our relationship with it. To shift from seeing it as the end goal to viewing it as a means to an end. A tool, when yielded with intentions and guided by principles of unity and collectiveness, of well-being, this can help us build the future we envision. Imagine a world where economic systems are rooted in equality, where wealth generated by our communities stays within our communities, enriching and empowering us all. This isn't a distant dream. It's a possibility that begins with each of us. Each of us. It starts with questioning the role of money in our lives, in our movements, and in our quest for sovereignty. It requires us to come together, to unite in an effort to create economic structures that serve us, that reflects our values, and that propel us towards our collective goals. As we move forward, let's carry with us the understanding that true power lies not in the wealth we accumulate, but in the strength of our unity. Let's commit to building economies that are as rich in opportunity, justice, and equity as they are in capital. Let's use our money as a tool, not as a master. Not a master in our ongoing fight for self-determination and collective empowerment. Again, stay with us, family. Up next, we're taking a closer look at the latest employment report and what it tells us about the systematic challenges facing our community. You're listening to Talking Shit Beyond the Comfort Zone with KING-KAMBUF.
Out the shadows, imagine if you had a nut, meaning ejaculation, and instead of using your own, you use someone else's crude. Yes, well, it's kind of like fucking all day to make a baby, even then you eat them, and then put someone else's nut inside your lady. Yes, your wife. This is the money.
Segment 3. The Employment Report Analysis. Welcome back. This segment dives deep into the heart of economic realities facing our community. Today we dissect the latest employment report and what it means for the Black diaspora. March 2024 brought us some numbers that we just can't ignore. The total non-foreign payroll employment rose by 303,000, but When you peel back the layers, the story isn't just about numbers, it's about people, it's about our community. While unemployment rates held steady at 3.8%, which is good, especially when they use 4 point and higher as a warning sign. We're forced to ask, who's really benefiting from these gains? Let's talk systematic issues. Despite overall job growth, disparities remain stark. The sectors seeing growth, healthcare, government, and construction, are indeed areas where our community has a strong presence. Yet the question lingers, are we seeing equitable growth? Or are we witnessing another chapter in the long history of economic inequality? The Economic Policy Institute sheds light on a broader trend. Since the pandemic, we've seen a recovery that, while statistically significant, hasn't uniformly lifted all boats. The private and the state sectors have shown variable recovery patterns, which begs the question, how is our community faring, specifically within these trends? And then there's a broader economic outlook. According to J.P. Morgan, 2024 poses a mix of challenges and opportunities. Economic growth is expected to decelerate, potentially affecting job markets. Yet amidst these forecasts, there's a silver lining: the resilience of the consumer, which a lot of them are us, and the potential for strategic fiscal management to mitigate some of the headwinds. So what's the takeaways? It's this: we must be vigilant. We must be strategic. As the economic tide shifts, let's anchor ourselves in unity and collective action. Let's navigate these waters together, ensuring that as the job market evolves, it does so in a way that's inclusive, equitable, and reflective of our collective strength and resilience. Now, this analysis draws insight into the latest employment statistics and economic forecasts, highlighting the nuances impacted on our community. The Bureau of Labor Statistics provides a comprehensive overview of current employment figures, while insight from the Economic Policy Institute offers a deeper dive into the employment trends. As I mentioned before, institutions like J.P. Morgan Economic Outlook offers a microeconomic perspective, forecasting potential challenges and opportunities coming up. So listen, despite an overall low unemployment rate in America, the Black community is not reaping the same benefit. Bottom line. As of March 2024, while the nation celebrated low unemployment rates, the Black unemployment rate rose to 6.4%. That's a whole 1.1%, up from 5.3% in January and 5.6% in February. These increases stand in stark contrast. And just so you understand, Black unemployment is the highest in the nation, 6.4% in this past report. Yet the overall employment percentage was 3.8. That's damn near double. This increase stands in stark contrast to the national trends, highlighting a systematic issue that's all too familiar. When America catches a cold, so they say, Black America gets pneumonia. The Economic Policy Institute sheds light on this disparity, showing that across the United States, the unemployment rate for Black America was significantly higher than their white counterparts, with states like Washington, D.C. experiencing the most, double the unemployment rate for Black Americans compared to the overall rate. This isn't just a number. That's a reflection of the systematic barriers that continues to plague our community. Barriers like last to hire, first to fire. Practice that disproportionately affect Black workers. And while some may point to record low unemployment rates for Black Americans in the past, it's essential to understand that these numbers only tell part of the story. Despite historical lows, the gap between Black and white unemployment remains significantly. Or I should say remains significant. And any increase in unemployment hits our community harder, given the already existing disparities. So what's our move? First, we must recognize that these aren't just statistics. They represent real people, real families, real lives being affected. It's time to push for policies that not only create jobs, but ensure equity. Equitable access to those jobs for Black Americans. It's time for targeted economic initiatives that address the root cause of these disparities, ensuring that economic recovery benefits all Americans, not just the selected few. What we need is a call for economic self-determination. As we further dissect the employment report and its implications for our community, a glaring truth stands out. The disparity in the unemployment rates between Black America and the rest of the nation. This isn't just a matter of numbers. It's a clear indication of systematic barriers at play. Barriers that have long dictated the economic fate of our people within a system not designed for our prosperity. But here's where we draw the line in the sand. While acknowledging these disparities, we also recognize the power and the necessity of creating our own paths, to economic empowerment. This isn't about withdrawing from the broader economy, but about establishing our industries and employment systems that stand shoulder to shoulder, competing with and influencing the wider economic landscapes. This situation calls for a unified front, a collective push towards economic self-determination. It's about harnessing our creativeness, our creativity, our innovations, and our entrepreneurial spirits to build businesses and not only serve our community, but also provides employment opportunities for our people, that also provides employment opportunities for our people. This vision isn't new. It's a continuation on the legacy left by leaders like Marcus Garvey, who championed economic independence, and self-reliance as the bedrock to true freedom and sovereignty. Imagine a future where Black-owned businesses thrive, where our young entrepreneurs are nurtured and supported, where our economic ecosystem is so robust that the narrative of being the last to hire and the first to fire becomes a relic of the past. This future is within our grasp. It requires investments, not just financial, but education, mentorships, and in-community support systems that lift up our visionaries and our innovators. As we navigate these challenges and disparities highlighted by the employment report, let us move forward with a vision, a clear vision of what's possible. Let's commit to building an economic reality where our success is not determined by the whims of others, that our success is not determined by the whims of others, that our success is not determined by the whims of others, but by our collective efforts, resilience, and unwavering belief in our ability to rise above these systematic barriers. What did I just talk about? I just emphasized the importance of economic self-determination and the reason why, and the role of unified efforts in creating a sustainable economic future for our Black community, for the nation of KANGKAMBUF, for the Black diaspora, inspired by the visionary works of Marcus Garvey. It encourages a proactive approach to establishing industries, our industries, and employment systems, our employment systems, that not only provide opportunities within the community, but also compete on a broader economic stage globally.
Out the shadows, imagine if you had a nut, meaning ejaculation, and instead of using your own, you use someone else's. Crude, yes, well, it's kind of like fucking all day to make a baby. Even then you eat them and then put someone else's nut inside your lady.
DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. As we delve into the landscape of diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, in corporate America, it's essential to confront the resistance these initiatives face. Despite the proven benefits of DEI for fostering a more inclusive and productive workplace, challenges remain. Boy, do challenges remain. This year, a notable trend is the push from nonprofit groups and investment firms towards giants like BlackRock and JP Morgan. They demand these corporations align their public commitments to racial justice with their actions. Specifically, they're voting on pro-DEI resolutions at portfolio companies. DEI on the corporate ballot. Moreover, we've seen proposals urging companies to provide detailed breakdowns of employee demographics, to conduct racial equality audits, and to report on pay gaps across different racial groups. DEI on the corporate ballot strives for predictions for the 2024. Yet, despite these efforts, there's a notable pushback. Like when anything goes wrong, oh, it's DEI. A door blows off of a fucked up, poorly constructed Boeing jet. Oh, it's DEI. Oh, I get nervous when I walk on a plane and see a black pilot. Fuck you. I get nervous when I see you. Yet despite these efforts, there's notable pushback, backlash from Supreme Court rulings striking down. Yet despite these efforts, there's notable backlash from Supreme Court rulings striking down affirmative action to state restrictions on DEI programs. And even public figures decrying DEI efforts. The pushback is palpable. Ways to address this pushback against diversity, equity, and inclusion. This resistance isn't just a hurdle, it's a reflection of white America in the fucking mirror, of systematic barriers and DEI initiatives aimed to dismantle us. Amidst this, the importance of participation and creating our own standards becomes so much crucial. Our own standards, our own spaces. Man, this can't be overstated. This is not just about integrating into the existing systems, but about carving out our own platforms, our own industries, economies, and domestic products, where DEI isn't just a policy, but a foundational principle. As we face these challenges, it's crucial to remember the value of DEI, creating a workplace that truly works for everyone, but not becoming reliant upon DEI programs as our only means to success, which means us coming together to add to what DEI tries to accomplish. Again, this isn't a retreat from engaging in a wider economic system, but an acknowledgement of the importance of having our own ecosystems. Systems where our employment and entrepreneurial ventures can thrive. Talking Black Wall Streets, systems that we've put in place before just to have them burnt and bombed and flooded out by the racist shit of America. You deserve nothing but big fuck yous. Big fuck yous. Systems where our employment and entrepreneurial ventures can thrive, compete, and influence on an equal footing. Again, in the spirit of Marcus Garvey, it's about laying the groundwork for economic sovereignty within our communities. So as we push forward, let's embrace the multifaceted approach to DEI, combining strong messaging, factual sharing, data-driven results, and above all, an unwavering commitment to inclusion. Let's navigate the resistance, armed with the knowledge that DEI done right not only benefits individuals, but propels entire communities and companies towards unprecedented growth in harmony. Yet not forget that it's up to us, not relying on them to accept us, but for us to accept ourselves. What did we just talk about? We talked about and addressed the ways that DEI, or the backlash against DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, persists. This segment underscores the pivotal role of DEI and how it plays a role in corporate America while acknowledging the resistance faced by these initiatives. It emphasizes the necessity for Black community to participate actively in DEI efforts and to create our own systems that reflect our values, our standards, inspired by leaders like Marcus Garvey. DEI in America. We ain't done yet. As we dive deeper into the resistance against diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI initiatives within corporate America, it's imperative to acknowledge the discriminatory and sometimes racist undertones masked by this pushback. The resistance isn't just about opposing change. It's often a cover for preserving systems that inherently favor whiteness, and white cultural norms, perpetuating biases that have long influenced professional standards built on their mistakes, that they were allowed to make, while we weren't allowed to participate, but yet have to live up to, and never got a chance to learn from. Why is it important for us to do our own? Yet in the face of this backlash, the importance of DEI participation remains paramount. Not as an end, but as a means to a greater vision. A vision where the nation of KING-KAMBUF and Black America isn't just participating in an existing system, but pioneers. A vision where the nation of KING-KAMBUF and Black America isn't just participating in an existing system, but pioneers of our own economic realms. This isn't about seclusion, but about forging paths that allow us to employ ourselves to realize our goals and ambitions within industries that we dictate, spaces that we've created, that understand and celebrate the richness of our diversity. Engaging in open dialogues, active listening, and leveraging data-driven inclusivity are strategies that can help address resistance to DEI. Through honest conversations and creating safe spaces for expression. We just saw how safe the space was when Don Lemon interviewed that bitch Elon Musk.
You said if they kill the company, it's them. But doesn't the buck stop with you? I mean, you're on it.
I have to say, choose your question carefully. There's 5 minutes left.
Okay, but so
is this the question you want to ask?
The same question is, you said that they are killing the company, but you're the head of the company. The buck doesn't stop with you?
I acquired X in order to preserve freedom of speech in America, the First Amendment. And I'm going to stick to that. And if that means making less money, so be it.
So I have to be, listen, I'm just being honest, right? I'm not trying to, get you or anything. I was just surprised that you would blame other people for killing the company. I mean, when you say the buck stops with the President of the United States, regardless of what happens, right? So, why would that question upset you? You seem upset by it, are you?
I think you.
And I'm not trying to upset you.
Well, you are upsetting me because the way you're phrasing the questions, I think, is not cogent.
It's not what?
Not cogent.
Cogent.
Yes.
Go ahead.
If given a choice where an advertiser saying like you have to censor all this content on the platform, irrespective of where their advertising appears, then our answer will be like, look, you can choose where you want your advertising, what you want your advertising to appear next to, but you can't insist on censorship of the entire platform. And if you insist on censorship of the entire platform, even where your advertising doesn't appear, then obviously we will not want them as an advertiser.
So what would you say to advertisers who have left the platform or who are considering coming back or not coming back? What would you like to say to them?
Well, first of all, almost all of our advertisers are coming back to the platform. So it's a very short list of advertisers who are not coming back to the platform. And our advertising revenue is rising rapidly. And our subscription revenue is rising rapidly. And I feel very optimistic about the future of the X platform.
Okay. Listen, honestly, I'm not meaning to offend you. You're an intense person. Where does that intensity come from?
I was born that way. And I had a tough childhood.
You did?
So, yeah.
How so?
Right, Walter Isaacson goes into it in the book, and we only have a couple minutes left, so
All right.
too long to describe. So the one or two questions I can do, and then we'll have to call it.
Okay. Again, I don't mean to upset you. Why are you just...
No, I have a whole room full of people waiting to meet with me.
Okay.
So we're just going over time.
Okay. All right. I understand that.
We foster a sense of belonging and understanding amidst skepticisms. Responding to the resistance around DEI. Now listen, as we navigate through these dialogues, it's crucial to remember the subtle forms of discrimination that privilege white workers and impede workers of color. You bring it up, your show gets canceled. The bias of professionalism in standards, in testing. Let this resistance not deter us, but rather reinforce our resolve to create an economic industries and employment systems of our own. Systems where DEI is not an added initiative, but the foundation of how we operate. Again, inspired by the legacy of Marcus Garvey, let us build not just for the present, but for a future where economic sovereignty is recognized, respected, and revered. In embracing DEI, we not only challenge the status quo, but also lay the groundwork for a future where the nation of KING-KAMBUF and Black America, Black diaspora around the world thrives on its own terms. As we push forward, let's carry the mantle of innovation, equity, and inclusion, creating spaces where everyone is seen, heard, and valued. This journey isn't just about countering resistance. It's about building bridges to our future where our diversity is our strength and our unity is our power. Listen, what I just emphasized here. The critical need to confront and understand the discriminatory resistance against DEI in corporate America. Advocating for the importance of DEI while highlighting the necessity for the Black community through the nation of KING-KAMBUF, through the wider Black diaspora around the world, to create our own economic systems, our own economic standards and spaces. It calls for leveraging DEI, not as an end, but as a means to forge a path and realize our ambitions within industries and systems that we define and control.
out the shadows. Imagine if you had a nut, meaning ejaculation, and instead of using your own, you use someone else's. Crude, yes, well, it's kind of like fucking all day to make a baby, even then you eat them and then putting someone else's nut.
Standards and participation. Segment 5. In this segment, we're tackling an issue that's pervasive as it is detrimental. The current standards that exclude and limit the Black community. These standards, often unspoken, dictate everything from who gets hired, from what jobs, for what jobs, to whose voices are prioritized in societal discussions. They're standards that time and again have not been set with us in mind. It's no secret that the professional world operates on a playbook written by those in power, a playbook that inherently favors certain groups over others. From basis of hiring practices to workplace culture that silence diverse voices, the deck is stacked against us before we even get a chance to play. And when we do get to play, it's often by rules that don't acknowledge our full humanity or potential. But here's where we turn the tide. Instead of seeking acceptance within these established platforms, it's time for us to create our own. This isn't about separation, but about elevation. About recognizing that our best chances at true equality comes from setting our own tables. This isn't about separation. It's about elevation. This isn't about separation. It's about elevation. About recognizing that our best chances at true equality comes from setting our own table. Not just hoping for a seat at theirs, Imagine industries where the standards reflect our experiences, our failures, our losses that we've learned from. Imagine industries where standards reflect our experiences, our culture, and our aspirations. Picture platforms where our contributions are not just included, but celebrated. Say that shit again. Picture platforms where our contributions are not just included, but celebrated. Where our youth can see themselves reflected in every level of leadership and innovation. This is not a distant dream, but a very achievable reality. The path to these platforms isn't simple, but it's necessary. It starts with each of us recognizing the power we hold collectively. It grows with our willingness to invest in ourselves, in our businesses, in our arts, in our technologies, in our communities. And it's realized when we refuse to accept limitations set by standards we had no hand in creating. And it's realized when we refuse to accept limitations set by standards we had no hand in creating. As we move forward, let us do so with the understanding that our participation in these new platforms isn't about economic success. I should say, isn't just about economic success. It's about crafting spaces where our children can thrive without compromise, where their identities are a source of strength and their dreams are unbounded by others' expectations. This journey towards creating our own platform is a testament to our resilience, our creativity, and our unyielding pursuit of justice. As we build, let us remember that we're not just setting new standards for ourselves, but for the world. In doing so, we not only challenge the status quo, but redefine what's possible. Listen, what I just highlighted, the systematic issues that exclude and limit the Black community, emphasizing the importance on creating our own platforms and standards that reflect our true selves. It encourages us, I'm encouraging us, to move away from seeking validation within established systems towards building spaces where the Black community can flourish on its own terms. Let's dive deeper into the narrative of standards and participation. It's crucial to acknowledge a fundamental truth. The standards governing corporate America were forged through trial and error, and frankly, a history marked by failures and incompetence. It's crucial to acknowledge a fundamental truth. The standards governing corporate America were forged through trial and error, and frankly, a history marked by failures and incompetence. Yet throughout this process, Black America was sidelined, denied the opportunity to contribute, to learn from these trials, and to shape the standards that emerged. This systematic sidelining isn't just an oversight, it's a form of gross negligence. It's a denial of the very process that leads to growth, competence, and excellence. While corporate white America was allowed to fumble, to learn, and to evolve, we were expected to meet these standards without having been allowed to partake in the messy yet invaluable learning process that established them. This brings us to a critical juncture, a realization that our path to excellence isn't about conforming to a set standard we had no hand in creating. It's about defining our standards through participation amongst ourselves in a system where we have the liberty and the opportunity to learn from our mistakes. It's in the process that true excellence is fostered. The journey of the nation of KING-KAMBUF, of Black America, of the Black diaspora around the world towards economic sovereignty and collective achievement must be paved with our trials, our errors, and our successes. It's through our participation in the systems of our making that we can truly understand what works and what doesn't work. Where our learning isn't penalized, but celebrated as a step towards greater achievements. Let's then commit ourselves to the creation of these platforms, these industries, these communities where our standards govern. Let's engage in collective learning processes, embrace the mistakes that come with innovation and growth. It's here in our space that will dive into the excellence systems of economic and collective achievements that truly reflect our values, our culture, and our vision for our future. As we move forward, let us do so with the understanding that our participation is not just a right, but a necessity. It's through our involvement that we'll craft a legacy of excellence, resilience, and prosperity, a testament to what can be achieved when we're given the space to learn, to grow, to succeed on our own terms. A testament to what can be achieved when when we take and build a space for ourselves to learn, to grow, and to succeed on our own terms. Our own terms. What did I just say? I just emphasized the need for Black America, for the Black community, for the nation of KING-KAMBUF to create our own standards and systems where we can learn from our own experiences. I just critiqued the inclusion of historical learning opportunities and call for the establishment of platforms where Black America can develop and redefine and refine our benchmarks for success.
Out the shadows, imagine if you had a nut, meaning ejaculation, and instead of using your own, you use someone else's crude. Yes, well, it's kind of like fucking all day to make a baby, even then you eat them and then putting someone else's nut.
Segment 6, Diversity and Unity. This segment here is close to my heart. It should be close to all of our hearts. Diversity and unity. Today, let's delve into this through a simple yet profound metaphor. The cake. Imagine a dessert table at a grand feast. On this table, you have a chocolate cake and a strawberry cake, each standing gloriously alone, each with its unique flavors, textures, and aromas side by side. They offer a choice of diversity and it enriches the feast. Now, imagine deciding to combine these cakes into one, not by layering them in harmony, but by mashing them together, forcing the integration of their distinct elements. The result, a dessert that loses the essence of what made each cake special. A dish that no one truly enjoys. This metaphor illustrates the beauty of diversity and the pitfalls of forced integration. It's a reminder that diversity isn't about creating a homogeneous blend where individual flavors lose their distinction. It's about celebrating each unique element, allowing each to stand alone yet contribute to the richness of the whole. In the nation of KING-KAMBUF, in our communities, we strive not for a forced melding pot, but for a unity that respects and celebrates our differences. It's about standing alone together, where each of us contribute our unique strengths, perspectives, and talents to the collective whole that's stronger because of our diversity. Let's then embrace this approach to diversity and unity, where we don't lose ourselves in the mix, but shine individually, contributing to the overall that's vibrant within the variety. Let's build platforms, institutions, and communities where diversity is not just tolerated, but is the cornerstone of our collective strength and unity. So listen, as we move forward, let's carry this metaphor with us as a reminder of the value in our varied experiences and backgrounds. Let's commit to a unity that celebrates diversity, a unity that's about coming together, not by diminishing our individuality, but by empowering it, making the collective whole unmistakably rich, diverse, and united in its purpose. Remember, the use of the cake metaphor is to highlight the importance of diversity and unity within the Black community and beyond. It emphasizes the need for a unity that allows individual contributions to shine, fostering a collective strength that respects and celebrates our differences. Let's dive deeper into our metaphor, where the cake symbolizes not just our approach to diversity and unity, but our economic ambitions and products. This metaphor, friends, frames a vivid illustration of the relationship between white corporate America and Black America. Yes, we can all be in the place at the same table, enjoy all the symbols of our economic achievements and domestic products. Our contributions hold immense value, but only when they retain their unique attributes and flavors, not when crudely forced together into a mishmash that loses the essence of what makes each element great. In this scenario isn't just about cakes and desserts. It's a metaphor of how the nation of KING-KAMBUF approaches our sovereign economic endeavors. We come to the world's table ready to present our economies, ready to present our industries, ready to present our domestic products, while partaking in the world's offerings as they enjoy ours. It's a celebration of mutual respect, exchange, and appreciation for diversity that enriches everyone involved. By standing alone together, each contributing our unique strengths and flavors, we showcase the true value of diversity. We demonstrate how a collective approach which respects and uplifts each individual's contribution can lead to a richer, more successful union. This unity doesn't blur the lines that makes us unique. It highlights them, showing the world the power of collaboration without assimilation. Let the nation of KING-KAMBUF lead by example, showing that diversity and unity are not just ideas, but practical approaches to building a society and economy where everyone benefits. Our economic endeavors and industries and our products and our contributions to the global feast, let's ensure they're presented in ways that honors their inherent values, inviting the world to savor our unique flavor, while we enjoy theirs in a mutual exchange that acknowledges and celebrates our differences. So as we forge ahead, let us keep in mind the importance of maintaining the integrity of our unique contributions to the global economy. Let's build a future where the nation of KING-KAMBUF and the Black diaspora around the world, Black America, and its people are recognized for their distinctiveness, their excellence, and their invaluable contributions to the overall makeup of the world. Together, standing alone yet unified, we can create a legacy of prosperity, diversity, and unity that will resonate for generations to come. What I'm emphasizing here in this metaphor of the cake as a symbol of economic achievement and the importance of diversity and unity in economic endeavors. It highlights the nation of KING-KAMBUF and the Black diaspora, Black America's approach to contributing uniquely to the global economy, while also engaging with the world's economies, advocating for a mutual respect and appreciation for diversity. So in conclusion, as we come to a close of today's journey, let's take a moment to reflect on the grounds that we've covered. We delved into the metaphor and the reality that shapes our understanding of money, unity, and the power of self-determination. We've confronted the systematic barriers that challenge us and acknowledges the strength that lies in our diversity and unity. We've explored the metaphor of creation and ownership, reminding ourselves that true economic empowerment comes from within our community and leveraging our collective resources, wisdom, and aspirations to build something that truly belongs to us. We dissected the employment landscape, uncovering the disparities that persist and the need for us to carve our own paths of economic sovereignty. Our discussions on DEI in corporate America illuminated the resistance these initiatives face and the urgency for us to establish our own platforms, our own industries, our own economic systems, our own domestic products, our own spaces where our voices and experiences and our contributions are not just included but celebrated. And through the cake metaphor, we envisioned a model of diversity and unity that enhances rather than dilutes our strengths. Now, I invite you, our listeners, the nation of KING-KAMBUF, to reflect on the role money plays in your life. Is it a tool for empowerment or a chain of limitations? Consider the future we are striving to build, one that truly represents the empowerment of the Black diaspora of the nation of KING-KAMBUF. A future where our economic systems and cultural institutions and our communities reflect the depth and diversity and the dynamicisms of our heritage. Let's carry forward the lessons and the inspirations from today's discussion. Let's commit to building, to innovating, and to supporting one another in our quest for a future where the Black diaspora stands strong, united, and sovereign. Together, let's turn these visions into reality, creating a legacy of empowerment, prosperity, and unity that will echo through our generations to come. Let's talk in conclusion. As I wrap up this episode, I've been summarizing the key points discussed throughout and urging listeners to reflect on their relationship with money and the importance of actively participating in the creation of the future that empowers the Black diaspora, the nation of KING-KAMBUF. I just emphasize that unity and self-determination and the collective effort needed to achieve economic sovereignty and cultural affirmations. As we wrap up today, enlightening discussion, turn to our dedicated listeners with a call to action. This is your moment. This is your moment to step forward, to engage, and to contribute to the movement that's larger than any one of us. First, we invite you to dive into the community discussions and initiatives, the journey towards sovereignty, towards building the great nation of KAMBUF, beginning with conversations, with the exchange of ideas, and with collective action. Whether it's in your local communities or within the vast expanse of the digital world, your voice is crucial. Share your thoughts on social media. Share your thoughts on this post. Like and subscribe. Use the power of your platforms to spread the word. The nation of KAMBUF, we support you. We are the nation of KAMBUF. Share your thoughts on social media. Use the power of your platform to spread the word, to inspire others, and to join in the active quest for sovereignty. Every tweet, every post, every comment, every like, every subscription, every subscribe, every share is a step closer to realizing our vision. So do so. It's the least you can do. And for those ready to take their commitment to the next level, consider becoming a member of the nation of KAMBUF by enrolling and investing as little as $1.50 each month in our Apostle and Disciple Card programs. You'll be directly contributing to our nation-building efforts. Your support fuels the initiatives that will shape our future, providing resources that are vital to our growth and prosperity. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell on our YouTube and social media channels. Stay informed and up to date. Staying informed and up to date is key to moving in unison towards our collective goals. Finally, visit our website, kambuf.com, www.kambuf.com. I'm still putting it together, but it's there. Explore it. To learn more about our mission, our programs as I build it up, and how you can get involved. The path to sovereignty is paved with the contributions of each and every one of us. Together, we can build something truly remarkable. Thank you for being a part of today's discussion, conversation. Together, we are unstoppable. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep dreaming big, and remember, we are all architects of the future. Thank you for joining us on Talking Shit Beyond the Comfort Zone. I'm KING-KAMBUF. And until next time, keep pushing beyond the boundaries. Keep striving for excellence. And remember, we're stronger together. As we draw today's conversation to a close, I want to extend a heartfelt thank you to each of you for joining. Your presence, your listening ear, and your active participation are what makes Talking Shit Beyond the Comfort Zone a beacon for those of us committed to the empowerment of unification and the Black diaspora. But our dialogue doesn't just end here. Join us next time as we peel back the layers on the games they play, from censorship to shadow banning and much more. We'll dive deep into the tactics used to silence voices and ideas in the digital age, exploring how these strategies impact our community and what we can do to ensure our voices continue to be heard loud and clear. Until then, keep the conversation going, keep challenging the norms, and keep striving for sovereignty and unity that will define our future. This is KING-KAMBUF once again signing off from Talking Shit, Beyond the Comfort Zone. Stay empowered, stay united, and stay tuned. Amen.
Where we can find detailed information on our membership packs and how to activate your KING-KAMBUF membership disciple card. Together, we can build a future that reflects our highest aspirations and values. Join us as we push the boundaries, challenging the status quo and making history. Making history and making history. This is Talking Shit. Beyond the comfort zone with KING-KAMBUF. Let's build, let's grow, let's make a difference. Together, together, together. Out the shadows, imagine if you had a nut, meaning ejaculation, and instead of using your own, you use someone else's. Crude? Yes, well, it's kind of like fucking all day to make a baby, then using and then putting someone else's nut inside your lady. Yes, your wife. This is the money. Your nut is your money. Yeah, you use someone else's money, meaning money you did not create. Money that has no face that looks like you. Money got you fooled. Money got you abandoning your dreams. Rather, our collective dreams to be a sovereign nation, a sovereign people. Rather, you chase money to build their kingdom, to not build ours. The same kingdom you helped build as a slave. Now you're just a paid slave. Tough yet fair comparison. Is it tough or not? This is me saying money is not relevant. This isn't me saying that money isn't relevant. Yet how relevant can it be if it doesn't represent your forefathers and foremothers, our collective unity and combined domestic product, a future and a past at the same time? Or when every bill you crave a dance for, in fact, is your forefathers and mothers and slavers on it. Let me say that again. Or when every bill you dance and crave for, in fact, has your forefathers and mothers and slavers on it. Yet then comfort in sheets, yet them comfort in sheets, them same sheets. One whole ass should ask themselves, did God invent money or did he invent unity? Is money a byproduct of unity, or is money a value of control? I argue unity has nothing to do with money, yet has to do with self-determination, collective determination. Yet the illusion of money has us chasing our own tails, so we're dizzy, uncoordinated, and lost, not knowing where to go. The unemployment report of 4/5/2024. How did black people unemployment rise while other races unemployment status barely rose or went down? DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion. White corporate America is against it. DEI, and is a code, a chant for racist overtones. Participation is everything. How and what you decide to participate in. Then let's talk about standards. Standards were created based on the white man's mistakes that they don't want to give you the same ability to make, learn, and grow from. Yet when they're making mistakes, you were welcome to participate. Yet when they make mistakes, it's the standard practice that then becomes standards that now you have to live up to. Yet there's a disconnect with even wanting to work alongside white people that don't want to work alongside you. And then that what we put more emphasis on, breaking into their doors and crashing their glass ceilings instead of creating our own. Participation is everything, and participation in a game where the other team refuses to play or play fair is crazy to me. Either way, sometimes a chocolate cake is great. A cake that gives you a belly ache.